You're all fired.
Sweet bongo of the Congo!
Welcome to Watch Mojo, and today we're counting down our picks for the top 20 best cartoons that got canceled.
Get lost, you losers.
Very well. I am going to get lost. But notice I am getting lost with my best friend.
For this list, we'll be looking at the most notable top-tier animated programs that were axed or abruptly went off the air way too soon, even if they did eventually come back. Let us know in the comments which cartoon cancellation made you rage quit. Number 20, Sonic the Hedgehog. Not even this famed blue blur can outrun low ratings. Despite solid critical reviews, the series struggled to pick up enough speed.
Wow, how fast did we go, Sonic?
We were scooting and rooting, little bro.
After all, the Saturday morning time slot is a competitive one. Furthermore, the subdued color palette and heavy storylines weren't necessarily seen as a good thing, though we beg to differ. And while they made changes to suit the network's desire for something less heavy, the Speedster was pulled off the racetrack after just 2 seasons.
Find the Hedgehog!
You call?
Sadly, this meant its cliffhanger ending was left unresolved. Fortunately, while Sonic & Co. were literally underground in-universe, this mature take on the Hedgehog has become anything but in recent years. He didn't quite outrun cancellation, but Sonic did make a pit stop as a bona fide cult hit.
Man, I don't get it.
Never mind, Sonic. I'll explain it to you sometime.
Number 19, Dave the Barbarian. Entrusting 3 kids with the keys to the kingdom doesn't sound like a great idea, but somehow this nation thrives under their unconventional rule.
I'm the princess in this family. Do you know how long it's been since I've gotten a gift basket, a gift certificate, a nice card?
It helps that the delightfully offbeat humor plays into the absurdity of the situation, which is necessary when the primary antagonist is a talking pig. Yeah, we're serious, but it was great.
Get away! I'm too pink to die! Ah!
Unfortunately, the only thing shorter than youngster sister Fang's temper was this show's run on the Disney Channel. As entertaining as its anachronistic hijinks were, the network inexplicably stopped making episodes. They never really commented on what most people came to see as an unofficial cancellation. Widespread appreciation for the show in the years since has proved that its only mistake was being ahead of its time.
Well, we've got to do something to help Candy.
Why?
Because she's our sister. Because we care about her. Because once she snaps out of this, she'll never shut up about it.
Ding, 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 ding. We have a winner!
Number 18, Danny Phantom. After 3 years and over 50 episodes, this titular hero and his show went ghost for the last time.
Good news, my powers are back. Bad news, my powers are back!
Though its engaging mix of humor, action, and teen drama created a loyal fan base, not even Danny could go intangible in the face of reported executive shuffling. A shakeup of the high brass at Nickelodeon is allegedly why Danny and his ghoulish pals were sadly shooed away to the cemetery. Needless to say, people weren't pleased, and given the show's captivating nature, it's easy to see why.
Will you stop talking about me like I'm not here? And will you stop poking me?
To be fair, it did get a finale, but its lackluster and unsatisfying execution left many doing a ghostly wail for a revival. After all, it wouldn't be the first time Danny survived certain death.
What? Trick and treat, Buckethead!
Number 17, The Charlie Brown and Snoopy Show. Seeing Linus without his blanket seemed more likely than ever witnessing a Peanut show underperform.
I can't stand it. I just can't stand it.
Yet even though this breezy program shared a title with one of television's most recognizable canine companions, viewership was much lower than expected. It oozed classic Peanuts charm and each episode was a true treat, but the brand's widespread appeal somehow didn't translate to strong ratings.
You want me to write a letter recommending you for Neighborhood Dog of the Year? When did you ever say anything nice about Beethoven?
After an unsuccessful migration to a different time slot and a short second season, the show was pulled from the airwaves altogether. From a business perspective, its performance shared a bit of a resemblance with Charlie Brown trying to punt a football.
It's time I'm gonna kick that football clear to the moon!
But it still captured the earnest spirit of the original comic in a way few ever have. Number 16, Recess. This time it was more than just kids who wanted to stay out of the schoolyard.
Sorry, guys. That was certainly
unpleasant.
You kidding? That was cool! You booted worse than Randall on Fish Chowder Day!
After the success of TJ and his friends Hopscotch to the big screen, Disney made the decision to order more episodes of this beloved series, and it seemed like a no-brainer.
You must have seen that probing 12-hour special about microorganisms on the Science Channel.
No, but I've seen mouthwash commercials.
After all, the show was entertaining, clever, and an all-around blast. But strong viewership, positive reviews, and huge brand recognition weren't enough to ultimately keep the bell from ringing. Parent company ABC reportedly wanted more Recess, but Disney refused. This might have been because the series had already hit the 65-episode threshold that typically marked the end for the studio's programs.
You don't understand. There won't be a next time. There wasn't even supposed to be a this time.
Nobody wanted to head back to class, but this dodgeball game still ended with Recess in the lead. Number 15, The Avengers, Earth's Mightiest Heroes. The only thing strong enough to take down this superpowered team is themselves.
In my day, we gave new recruits a hard time, but nothing like this.
After assembling on screen for 2 seasons of morally complex themes, exciting action, and true to the comics' storylines, the series was unceremoniously axed. Even worse, it was replaced by, well, the same thing.
I don't intend to send him somewhere in this universe. We're sending him to the negative zone.
Its slot was taken by Avengers Assemble, which was playing off the success of the industry-defining 2012 live-action film. Not even Wasp's sting could hurt as much as getting replaced in this way. Though, at least time has been kinder to the former series.
No way.
To this day, Earth's Mightiest Heroes is well regarded by fans and critics alike for proving why these heroes are truly super. Number 14, Green Lantern the Animated Series. It's impressive to make a movie so disliked it tanks its whole brand.
Welcome to Ring Slinging 101, or as I like to call it, the worst day of your worthless life.
At a time when the Lantern's light was at its dimmest, this novel's CG series proved that Hal Jordan's stories were still a worthwhile expedition.
It's a trap. Of course it is. But we don't leave anyone behind.
But while its ambitious and nuanced narrative earned it decent ratings, it wasn't enough for the bottom line. Many animated programs rely on toy sales for funding. Since the 2011 film failed, the inundation of unbought Green Lantern action figures prevented this small screen adventure from doing its own merchandising. That was an insurmountable black hole. At least that's what the series star Josh Keaton thinks happened. It's almost poetic that the brand's saving grace was done in by the very thing it could have redeemed.
You have a calling, and I will not ask you to give that up.
And if I did?
Number 13, Wolverine and the X-Men. Sharing source material with some of the most iconic superhero shows of all time, this iteration proved that the X-Gene hadn't finished evolving just yet.
You're on hallowed ground here, lady. Don't make me regret this.
Perhaps you'd rather I didn't find the professor.
The skillfully plotted narrative, dynamic characters, and mature edge lended the series real enough stakes to do the comic's iconic Days of Future Past storyline justice. It wasn't an underrated gem either, drawing in incredibly strong ratings and dedicated fans.
How's it look?
Bad, as usual.
Needless to say, each episode left us excited for the next one, but apparently its resounding success meant nothing when Disney bought Marvel. So, while it didn't last nearly long enough, Wolverine and the X-Men ended with a downright apocalyptic cliffhanger, teasing a second season that would never come. Number 12, Symbionic Titan. Ilana, Lance, and Octus weren't the only ones combining to make something greater.
He's more than just a robot, you know. He's family.
Part teen drama, part mech anime, and part fish-out-of-water comedy, this inventive show combined its elements to make something truly special. And it didn't even need a transformation sequence to do it. But Symbionic Titan was shamefully taken offline for reasons that seemingly had nothing to do with its inarguable and well-deserved success. Competitive ratings and vocal fan support apparently didn't matter as much as its failure to secure a toy line, which reportedly led to Symbionic Titan being dismantled.
I feel sort of disembodied. What happened?
With 10 completed scripts said to have been left unproduced, it's a massive waste of potential that this robotic series was forced to power down.
Wait, where have you been all this time?
Forget it. I'll explain later.
Number 11, The Spectacular Spider-Man. It's a marvel, pun fully intended, that Peter Parker has managed to web up so many iconic stories over the years. It's just a shame that not all of them are given satisfying conclusions.
Thanks?
While a few, like the 1994 series, at least reached a natural endpoint, the same can't be said for this beloved 2000s cartoon. The spectacular Spider-Man lived up to its name with outstanding writing, deep themes, and complex characters, but legal issues prevented the show from continuing.
Gee, do you really think I could be a hero like you?
Well, yeah. I mean, with great power comes great
gullibility!
Disney's purchase of Marvel included the television rights to Spidey, so while there were a lot more of Peter's high school years to explore, the Sony-owned series was tragically forced to sling its last web.
Move, kids! Can't trust that blasted webhead to save us! Oh, real nice.
Number 10, Clone High. A cheeky spin on the soapy teen drama formula. This delightfully weird comedy reimagined clones of famous historical figures like Joan of Arc and Abraham Lincoln as hormonal teenagers.
All I'm saying is, a girl is interested in me, and I'm not going to ignore it.
If I want you.
You want me to what? Forgot what you're gonna say. Happens to me all the time.
Naturally, it faced some serious scrutiny for its questionable interpretation of revered cultural fixtures, with the Gandhi character specifically provoking a public outcry. The controversy criminally overshadowed some of the sharpest writing and humor of the time.
But she was the first girl that gave me, what's that word? Feelings?
The show's 13 episodes weren't even initially allowed to finish airing in the United States. Thankfully, the power of the internet has given the gem the retroactive acclaim it deserves.
It's like the quote-unquote civilized world doesn't understand us and our self-importance.
Yeah, it's like first and a half base. We should totally just go there, just to show them.
The best thing about clones is you can always make more of them, and fan support spawned another look-alike in the form of a well-deserved HBO Max reboot. Number 9, Batman Beyond. As the chronological end to the DC animated universe, this show deserved a proper farewell. It got one, just not until much later.
Hey, I'm one of the good guys.
You don't look like a good guy.
It's just to scare the bad guys, really.
Admittedly, the idea of a teenager replacing Bruce Wayne seemed like a batarang was veering heavily off course. But the series' clever modernizations and respect for DC's vast animated history proved Terry McGinnis was worthy of the cowl.
After you.
You don't trust me.
You were out to kill me, remember?
There are worse things than an honorable death.
While the 4th season first appeared to be a go, it ended up being scrapped, and much of the production staff moved on to its replacement, the Justice League series. The abrupt way in which Beyond came to an end remains hard to swallow, but at least Justice League Unlimited later dedicated an episode to giving Terry and the DC Universe the epilogue they deserve.
You're a stubborn piece of work, you know that.
Just like my old man.
Number 8, Star Wars: The Clone Wars. Over 100 episodes is nothing to raise a lightsaber at, but it somehow still doesn't feel like enough.
A great leap forward often requires first taking 2 steps back.
After a somewhat rocky launch sequence, viewership and critical reviews for this seminal animated program went to a galaxy far, far away. Its legacy and impact on the brand's modern prevalence can't be overstated.
Well, then perhaps some good has come from all of it. The Republic couldn't have asked for better soldiers. Nor I, a better friend.
That's why it was a blaster to the gut when production was halted, potentially due to Lucasfilm being acquired by Disney. The unaired episodes were later released on Netflix, but fans understandably still wanted more.
So, nothing significant happened to you out there?
Yes, and no. To the end, we are coming now.
Well, ask and ye shall receive. The Force found balance when the Clone Wars revived it for a rightful and iconic send-off on Disney Plus in 2020. Number 7, Invader Zim. Taking over the world has never been this much fun.
I thought you were trying to destroy the Earth.
Oh, yes, that. You heard wrong. This time I was trying to get rid of Mars. You know, just a little warm-up before I destroyed the humans. Yeah, see, I'll do Earth next. I'm an unstoppable death machine, you know.
The utterly incompetent and oftentimes hilarious exploits of this wannabe invader didn't quite cause a liftoff in viewership. But they did succeed in overtaking critics. The eclectic humor, darker plots, and offbeat art style made it a hard sell alongside the network's other offerings. And it didn't make it through its 2nd season despite some incredibly creative storytelling.
You dare tell me what I already know?
Did you know that?
Of course I... Your legs are stupid!
But thankfully, Zim's infiltration didn't stop there. He'd continue to overtake Earth through the acclaimed release of his final episodes years later, and through a 2019 movie.
Go to my scheming lab and bring me everything that could be Phase 2, quickly!
At this point, Invader Zim has grown beyond a mere cult hit, and is justly regarded as one of Nickelodeon's all-time best series. Number 6, Teen Titans. The resounding feeling at the end of this iconic show's final episode is that things change, but in this case, it wasn't for the better.
You don't remember me?
Should I?
I'm Beast Boy. We used to hang out together. You thought it was funny.
Its anime-inspired visuals, heartfelt character arcs, and serious overtones earned it a spot as one of the most legendary cartoons of its time. But that didn't protect it from a questionably open-ended finale. It's not unsatisfying so much as it's disappointing given how much potential the Titans still had.
This is not the end!
There's never been an official reason given for the cancellation, but the bottom line is that even with a wrap-up film, this show is still waiting for the exclamation point at the end of its story. And no, Teen Titans Go does not count.
The key to immortality and a delicious lunch.
My sandwiches still look better.
Number 5, Gargoyles. After 2 stellar seasons of elaborate storylines and sophisticated characters, these stone statues began to crumble.
Urban myths no longer, these creatures launched a completely unprovoked attack against our city's finest.
Despite a fresh, engaging concept and positive debut, the beloved series plateaued commercially and met a near fatal end following the second season. But instead of letting these gargoyles go back to sleep peacefully, ABC rebranded the show as Gargoyles: The Goliath Chronicles for a third go-around.
Sorry, it's the best I can do.
Its flight from syndication to broadcast reportedly came with a much tighter creative leash, and much of the original staff was replaced with new writers and animators. Rebranding alienated many of the fans they still had, and by the time these gargoyles were grounded for good, lots of folks had already moved on.
Go ahead, coward. Show me just what you feel about gargoyles. Here's your big chance. Show me!
Number 4, Young Justice. Few shows balance compelling character work with world-ending stakes better than this DC offering. It makes sense given the heightened drama of following a teenage superhero team.
Robin, your team leader.
Promotion, sweet.
The series' methodically paced storyline allowed each of its core characters to grow organically alongside a surprisingly deep overarching narrative. But not even these likable heroes could save the day when toy sales slumped. Yep, there's definitely an echo in here.
50,000 years of life, and nothing ever troubled me as much as the founding of the Justice League.
This is yet another action series that was canceled on a cliffhanger because of merchandising, though at least this one has a super ending.
It's no good, Barry. Oh man, Artemis is so gonna kill me for this. And don't even get me started on Mom and Dad.
Fan demand reassembled the team years later for another run, with much of the original creative group returning like no time had passed at all. Number 3, Samurai Jack. Even Aku isn't so evil he'd end a show this influential. Jack's poignant journey pushed the limits of what the medium could accomplish by telling its story through action and expressions instead of straight dialogue. It was deservedly lauded for its innovative storytelling, but during production of the 4th season, creatives weren't given a firm answer about the fate of the series. So instead of rushing to an end, they wrote the final episode the same as any other.
Well, what do we have here?
Hey, it's a skinny bloke who stole our dinner!
They didn't know it would be the end of Jack's story, at least for a while. Luckily, over a decade later, the titular protagonist finally returned to the small screen with an exceptional final season that was well worth the wait.
You might have beaten me now, but I will destroy you in the future.
There is no future for you, Aku.
I disagree.
Number 2, Futurama. Fry, Leela, and Bender have made more interplanetary deliveries than we can count, but thankfully, their ship isn't out of gas just yet.
That's coming out of your pay!
It takes a special kind of show to be canceled and revived not just once, but twice. Inconsistent time slots on its original network, Fox, failed to generate audience interest, and another stint on Comedy Central eventually ran its course too. Yet even through shuffling time slots, air dates, and even networks, consistent fan passion has earned it yet another shot at life on Hulu.
Looks like we got the old Bender back.
You know it, pork pie!
If it keeps up its track record of defying cancellation, it may still be on the air when Fry wakes up in the 31st century. we wouldn't be mad at that.
If I could make one moment last forever, this is the one I would choose.
I'm glad you did. It was a good life.
Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure you go into your settings and switch on notifications. Number 1. Family Guy. Peter and the Griffin family may be iconic nowadays, but it didn't start out that way.
You're fired! Jeez, for how long?
Irregular scheduling and stiff competition meant the vulgar sitcom struggled out of the gate, and its dining table only had enough seats for 3 seasons before it ended.
Everybody, I got bad news. We've been canceled.
Oh no, Peter, how could they do that?
Parent network Fox later realized their mistake when high rerun ratings and record-breaking DVD sales renewed interest in the series. They filled up the Griffin's minivan for another season, and the rest is family history. Its enduring legacy as one of the most prolific adult animated programs ever continues to this day. Needless to say, we'll never tire of the Griffin family and all their hilarious hijinks.
Oh dear, there are so many people to thank. God, of course. And, who else? Oh, this is so unexpected. Oh yes, Satan.
Did you enjoy this video? Check out these other clips from WatchMojo, and be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.